Hi, everyone. This is Nick Kapp, and I am here today to give you a rough podcast number 34. I haven't really done that much on it, but what I wanted to do is to talk a little bit about some kind of up and coming COVID treatments. And basically, I'll show them to you here now, and I'll show you what I have, and I can kind of fix this up a little bit later. But basically, what's going on is that besides the vaccines, there's a few other drugs that are going out that are helping us because, as you know, not everyone is taking the vaccines, and that unless even if we do get herd protection on there, the vaccine, the infections are going to be around for a while. So what do we do for those people who have the infections? And so I will share my screen. So what I wanted to talk today was up and coming COVID-19 drugs. This is the SF Bay PDA student chapter, SFPDA-SC. We are an affiliate program of the West Coast chapter of the Peritoneal Drug Association. I am Nick Kapp, your SFPDASC academic advisor. Marie D'Aguilar is the SFPDASC president and editor of this. And we give a series of podcasts that are roughly about 5 to 10 minutes long. What we intend to do is to inform and educate a new generation of pharma manufacturers through a discussion of helpful links, stories, and possible interviews. Help us help you. In the coming weeks, we will be trying out various ways to inform our listeners what it takes to work in the pharma manufacturing sphere. And so this is part of that. And so again, we are the student chapter. And so although vaccines will remain the pandemic sales stars, right? And so you have to take these vaccines. Therapeutics still will play a very important supporting role in the fight against the SARS-CoV-2. And so these are the therapeutics that you take when you should have had the vaccine. You know, what do you do when you said, oh, I should have had a vaccine? Or what happens when you take the vaccine, yet you still have a breakthrough infection? And so we need to look at this. The great thing about these particular drugs, too, is that they may have efficacy on just any coronaviruses that are out there, or the different viruses that are out there. And so what we can see is that what I've included here is a couple of drugs that included positive signs and encouraging data and participating in the accelerated COVID-19 therapeutic interventions and vaccines that active trials. And so that, I don't know if you guys remember, but the active trials were enacted in roughly around April 17th, 2020 at the National Institute of Health. And what they wanted to do is to develop a public-private partnership to develop and coordinate research strategies for the development of promising treatments. And so you can go to the NIH website and take a look at those. And I've made the link here. One of the first ones that we talk about is this is a company called Bree, partnered with a Chinese university. And what they did is they have a fully human neutralizing monoclonal antibodies against a relatively stable part of the spike protein. Again, this is human monoclonal antibody that was isolated from a patient who had the SARS, who had it and got over the SARS-CoV-2. It can completely block viral entry and neutralize the SARS-CoV-2. So it is I think it is a neutralizing or sterilizing antibody. And it binds to a highly conserved epitope on the spike protein, and hopefully the new variants that we have, like Delta or Alpha, will not affect it. Again, we're trying some other ones. Monoclonal antibodies tend to be very big. Why we in the PDA are very interested in these is that that's one of the main drugs that we make now. These drugs need to be injected. They are not available in pill form yet, but we'll see. CERC is from a company called Cerecor. It's the first-in-class fully human monoclonal antibody that targets the tumor necrosis factor, which is a cytokine. And the idea behind this is that we are targeting the cytokine storm. And so what we tend to see is people who do get COVID, look like they're getting better for a little bit, and then what happens is their immune system gets a little bit wacky, and that's what kind of causes some of the severe symptoms kind of later on. And so this is targeting the cytokine storm induced by COVID-19 acute respiratory distress syndrome. And so again, it's not directly towards that. Another one that I wanted to look at is Cineragen have an inhaled nebulized interferon beta 1 that directly delivered to the patient. So it's an antiviral that's delivered directly to the lungs through a kind of a nebulizer. The next group that I want to look at is this kind of Codex DNA, and they actually have designed synthetic genomes of several SARS-CoV-2 variants in order to do some research on that. And so basically what I wanted to say, that's what I have basically for today. So you tell me, is that politics or is that science? This one here, I'd really kind of say it's on the science side, because we're really looking at some these drugs, mainly monoclonal antibodies, that can help us get over the SARS-CoV-2. But ideally, these things hopefully will work well with many of the coronaviruses. And so again, when the next pandemic comes along, we will have sets of drugs that will help us with these. And again, these are in the wheelhouse of us, of the PDA, because these are things that need to be injected. So thank you. And that's it for today.